morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, June 19th, and this is your Arkansas Daily Briefing. We're going to start with the Arkansas State Legislature, and it looks like a controversial effort to use almost $1 million in taxpayer money to help some state employees navigate a student loan forgiveness program is still alive. It's not actually money that will go toward helping students pay back those loans. It's going to go toward a company that will help employees figure out how to perhaps get that student loan forgiven. It's a $917,000 contract, and it's been held in the Arkansas Legislative Council over the past 2 months when legislators said they weren't really sure that it was the best use of taxpayer dollars. Now, yesterday, the Legislative Council's Personnel Subcommittee recommended that the contract be approved. Now, it does still have to be approved by the full Legislative Council. The state estimates that there are around 11,000 to 12,000 employees that are qualified to participate in the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program that this contract would target. Of course, there are proponents and opponents on both sides of the committee. Representative Lane Jean, who is one of the head budget guys in the legislature, said that he thinks it may send the wrong message to Arkansans, and he wants to stay consistent with Republican sentiment on this issue, which, if you can remember, over the past few years under Joe Biden was very anti-forgiveness for student loans. Now, proponents say that it is needed to recruit and retain talent in state positions. State Senator Breanne Davis said that it helps add value for state employees. But Representative Lane Jean said the legislature just passed $139 million in pay increases for state employees to that end. Now, the almost $1 million in this contract would just be the first payment in that contract. In total, the contract would run for up to 7 years at a total taxpayer cost of $2.1 million. The full council is scheduled to make a final decision on the proposed contract on Friday. We'll see if they do, or if they continue to kick it down the road. All right, we've been following the legal drama between the Arkansas Attorney General and the Board of Corrections over what the AG has called their illegally hired lawyer. Now, AG Tim Griffin is asking a court to stop the Board of Corrections from paying that lawyer the more than $200,000 that he says he is owed for work with the board. Tim Griffin filed an injunction in Pulaski County Circuit Court stating that the board didn't follow the law in hiring Abton Medizadegan. He also sent a letter to Abton saying his hiring was illegal. He advised the board they did not have the legal authority to pay Abton and had said that any funds already paid out to Abton should be returned to the state immediately. So as we've discussed in previous episodes, the Corrections Board hired Abton to sue Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders last year. AG Griffin then sued the board, saying the hiring was done illegally in executive session and that the board was required to ask the state for approval before hiring any outside counsel. He also claims that it is a violation of state procurement laws how this was done. So yeah, there's a litany of issues here. The state's legislative audit team also found the board doesn't have the authority to pay Abton, who has accumulated invoices of more than $200,000 as of last February. So staying with longstanding political drama, you guys know the proposed state prison up in Franklin County that has caused such a stir. Well, one of the issues opponents have noted about the site selection is the lack of infrastructure, particularly the lack of water. The state is now in talks with the city of Fort Smith to see about using water from its water system. So this huge prison, 3,000 beds, is estimated to require 300,000 to 500,000 gallons of water a day. That's roughly 182 million gallons of water a year. But that's less than 1% of the amount that the city of Fort Smith provides to customers each year. Now, the prison would be 30 miles east of Fort Smith and a few miles north of Charleston, and Charleston already gets its water from Fort Smith. This will be the second meeting between prison officials and Fort Smith about using its water. The city said that even if they can supply it, it would take between 3 to 6 years to upgrade its systems to serve the proposed site. And that, of course, is supposing that all funding becomes available. So sticking in Northwest Arkansas, a Republican state lawmaker is calling for a freeze of discretionary state funding to the city of Fayetteville for violating the state's ban against sanctuary city policies. The drama started on Tuesday when the city of Fayetteville refused to assist the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, that's ICE, in a traffic stop. Fayetteville Mayor Molly Braun said the city's police officers will not provide immigration enforcement assistance. Representative Kendon Underwood of Cave Springs, that's just a little bit north and west of Fayetteville, he said that position is in violation of the state's anti-sanctuary policy law, which bans cities with sanctuary policies from receiving discretionary grants or funds administered by the state. So Representative Underwood sent a complaint to Attorney General Tim Griffin requesting an opinion regarding this issue. The AG's office said they've received the complaint and they're reviewing it. Moving over to some additional sad Fayetteville news. The Arkansas Razorback baseball season is at an end. I'm too depressed to go into the details, so I'm not going to do that, but suffice it to say, the Hogs lost to LSU last night. The season is over. It was a good run. Hearts are broken. Maybe next year. And on to something happier. If you love Johnny Cash, and what true Arkansan doesn't, this is for you. Roseanne Cash, Johnny Cash's daughter, and Trisha Yearwood will host a songwriting circle on September 12th at ASU in Jonesboro. That event is part of the Sunken Lands Songwriting Circle, and proceeds will go to the group that preserves the 1935 home of the Cash family in Dyess. Tickets will go on sale July 9th, and they'll range from $35 to $250. You can buy tickets through the ASU box office or through Ticketmaster. All right, that's it for this Thursday Arkansas briefing. Stay safe, and we'll see you tomorrow.